Alright guys, welcome back to another Master and Apprentice video and podcast. As you guys can see, we've got yet another review today. Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Now, I'll just get off the top. You might be asking, haven't we missed a couple Disney Plus Marvel shows? That's true. We don't go over everything, but just the stuff that's really interested us. We liked Season 1 enough to review it. Athens a really big Daredevil. He liked all the Netflix stuff, but he really liked Daredevil, so he really was partial to this. So I've got his notes, his review. I'll go over that here in a second. I'll just read it straight off how he has it, and I'll give you mine, and then kind of just a little bit of a breakdown. But overall, most fans, including us, would agree that this is better than Season 1. So just, all that being said, it's a little bit more positive than Season 1. We liked Season 1, but either way, we'll get right into it. Start off right off with Athens' notes. He said, Fire Season, Born Again Season 1 was a bit slow, but good as well. This one, however, had better pacing, good action scenes, and character development. I think it was just great all around. Jessica Jones and eventually Luke Cage were great additions to the show. Can't wait to see them in future projects. I've always liked Daredevil from the first season of a Netflix series, so I'm not exactly impartial, but Vanessa dying was a good decision in my opinion. It really showed how unhinged Fisk can be. Bullseye's character development was mostly a subplot, but even that was great. Loved the grand reveal at the end. No idea where the story was going from here, but they did a dang good job with this, and I have a lot of skepticism of Disney taking over such a dark show as Daredevil after seeing how some of the other Disney shows have been. But they knocked this out of the park, 9 out of 10. So that's Athens' overall review. I would say I'm not as high, but I'd probably give this 8 out of 10. Somewhere similar to Mall. In fact, like 7.5, 8 out of 10. I liked it a lot. I think there's a lot of fun, good stuff. I agree. I don't think it's as dark and gritty as the Daredevil from Netflix, but I don't think it's I want to say as lame, but it's the best word I can think of right now, as Season 1 of Daredevil Born Again. It's somewhere in between, and I think that's good. I don't think you need non-stop, constant gritty, because Daredevil in the comics isn't even that, right? Sometimes his series can be gritty and dark, sometimes it can be a little more lighthearted, and I think this is a good change in light. I really liked Season 2. I think a lot of the stuff that's extra, like Athen mentioned, the Jessica Jones, the Bullseye especially, I really liked Wilson Bethel, I think is his name. I thought he was excellent. He's been Daredevil for a while, but this is probably the best I've seen him, or at least my favorite of I've seen him. I thought he's been excellent in other seasons, but I really, really enjoyed him, like almost as an anti-hero in this one. Not exactly, but as close as we're ever going to see him. Really, really fun. I agree. I think the addition of Vanessa dying, I think it's a strong move, but I think it's a good move, and I think it's really going to change the tides with Wilson Fisk. I think people like Wilson Fisk as the mayor, but like Vanessa dying was really the only thing holding him back, keeping him cordial, and I think that her dying is really going to set him off. Obviously, we see the end of Season 2, how that plays out, but I think going forward, I'm really, really excited to see the change up, because now it's a completely different approach from the Kingpin, and I'm really, really excited to see that. The ending, Daredevil ending in prison, I'm assuming that ties into Spider-Man. A lot of, Charlie Cox has pretty much denied everything, but it'd be a little too much of a coincidence that he ends up in prison and Spider-Man shows up at the prison fighting the Hand, and it has nothing to do with Daredevil, right? Even if he's just there on the screen, even if Spider-Man's not there for him, they're gonna show Daredevil, right? The Hand is almost completely tied to Daredevil and Elektra, so it'd be weird for him not to have an appearance in that. But overall, I'm really, really excited where it's going. I love like this, reuniting the the Defenders. We get Jessica Jones, Luke Cage back. We know John Bernthal's Punisher's coming back next week with his special, and all of that for what it is. I really like how they're revitalizing the Netflix Defenders verse, and I really like where it's going. I agree. I think the pacing is much, much better than Season 1. Season 1 had some really fire parts of it. Episode 1 is excellent, but then it goes down, and there's some really fun stuff here and there. But like I felt like almost every episode consistently had something where I was excited about, right? And that's actually really impressive for a big turnaround for the show. So I give massive props for that. I think the characters are much more interesting. They're not worrying and focusing on character development for characters that are insignificant and aren't going to play a big of a role. They're not as piecemealing as much as they were in season 1, and I think those are all very beneficial for the viewers and for fans. Overall, I think season 2 is a much bigger upgrade. It's not perfect. I don't think I think most fans are going to say it's better than the Netflix series, but it's different, and I think for what it is, I enjoyed it. I really like Karen Page. Obviously, her return is vital to this. But overall, I really like the vibe of season 2. I really liked where they went with all of it, and it goes without saying what they're going to do with season 3. It could be a dozen different options, but it's going to be different, right? Season 1, season 2. It's kind of obvious. It was more Mayor Fisk being cordial. We're not going to have that anymore. And Daredevil is, in prison. So it's just going to be a very different setting than what season 1 and 2 were. So that's obviously very, very exciting for the future of the show. So all that being said, like I said, I'd probably give it 8, 7.5 out of 10. I really liked it. Much better than season 1 in my opinion. Not that season 1 was terrible. I just thought season 1 was the weakest out of all the Daredevil projects so far, by far the weakest. So all that being said, let us know what you guys think down in the comments. You guys liked it, disliked it, all that good stuff. If we left out anything major, I'm sure we did. But yeah, let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.